Hi, I'm Molly. I've been at Pearlfisher for 2 years and I am a strategist.
Hi, I'm Kristoffer. I am also a strategist and I've been here for a little over a year.
So we find ourselves in a really lucky position of sitting almost at the midway of our 3 studio offerings. So I like thinking of us as the problem solvers. You know, ultimately our clients come to us often not knowing what the problem is. They know that they need a solution and they know they need to express meaning, but they often don't know what happened at the start. So it's our responsibility to work with the future studio and actually uncover what's gone wrong. So we'll look into big cultural shifts, we'll look into a deep analysis of the category and the consumer, and ultimately we'll get to a kind of solution which can then inform a big, bold idea.
Yeah, I'd say the thing that we do is in the shortest way possible is to instill meaning into a brand. So it could be that we work with the futures team of figuring out what's the big cultural shifts, what's the big trends, what's the sort of discourse that the brand might be on, and then we figure out how can we make that different, relevant, mainly expressed through a big idea, like Molly said.
Clients or a brand team will kind of be expressing things that they don't even realize they're expressing. So they will be talking and we'll just be trying to open up a very informal conversation, and actually ideas and solutions can kind of come about, and it's our job to sort of see them. They might be expressing or already know what they want to stand for, they just don't really know how to get there. And that's when we sort of rise above that and can sort of extract that meaning that comes from them in whichever way we can. I also think, you know, it's different when we're tackling challenger or iconic brands, but particularly with challenger brands, I think the best question to ask, or the most insightful thing for us to know, is what is everyone else doing wrong? You know, what are you trying to challenge? What can you see is happening that you don't agree with? How can we create a really meaningful behavioral change in your consumer or in consumers at large? So once we've kind of observed what's going wrong in the category or in the culture or in the competitive context, that's when we can start saying, okay, your brand can solve this problem.
And I guess it's interesting what you just said, Molly, about conversation. I think the sooner you can get that interaction with the client to a conversation level, so it doesn't feel like an interview, it doesn't feel like I'm trying to understand your brand from a really, strategic point so I can make this big reveal for you later. As soon as you can start to talk to them like people, which we all are, you can start to get to the actual bit of saying, okay, we need to create desire for some other people, because it is a business about how do you change people's lives for the better, ultimately is what all brands are trying to do. So I think as soon as you can get humanize that sort of big question and try to talk eye level with people, I think it helps much faster. And those are the client relationships that we still have in the clients, where client and agency really come closer together, I think, as well.
I think people come to our company because we are, no matter what studio we sit in, we are all designers, and we pride ourselves on our visual expertise. And I think in partnership with particularly the Future Studio, we find that one of the most effective tools we can utilize is our kind of visual analysis of the category, but also an equity analysis. And I think that's particularly potent for our iconic brands, when we're really delving deep into visually what they really stand for and what is the most meaningful part of their visual expression. So I think those tools and being able to chart the category according to residual, dominant and emergent themes is a really powerful tool for us, and is always really sort of greatly appreciated by our clients, who often don't possess those skills themselves.
And I guess, yeah, when we talk about semiotics or visual coding, I think it's different from challenger brands to iconic brands. So a challenger brand is arguably going to come into a category and shake things up. So here it's more about understanding the category codes and saying, okay, how can we do that differently and how can we shake things up? So if everything is communicated with an X, let's introduce a triangle, and thereby we can create something different. Now for iconic brands, you definitely look at the current things that they had, what's working, what's not. Are there historic equities that they've sort of discarded that we can bring back and perhaps remix and reshape in a different way? Sometimes it's about stripping it back and being very bold and iconic. Sometimes it's about instilling new meaning into it and be more symbolic and perhaps a little bit mysterious to create desire that way. So you can build different equities in different ways. And I think it is different when it's a challenger brand to an iconic brand.